A lot of business owners feel comfortable about their liability exposure because they have an umbrella policy. And an umbrella coverage is genuinely valuable, but it does something specific and it doesn't do a lot of things that people assume that it does. In this video, exactly how commercial umbrella insurance works, what it covers, what it doesn't, and how to know whether your current limits are actually right for what you're running. I'm Brian Woods with Integrity Insurance and Risk Management. We work with business owners, commercial real estate investors, and independent producers who are serious about protecting what they've built. On this channel, we break down insurance and risk management in plain language. No jargon, no fluff, just the stuff that actually matters when something goes wrong. A commercial umbrella policy sits above your primary liability policies. Think of it as a second layer that activates when the first layer runs out. Here's the basic mechanic. Suppose you have a general liability policy with a $2 million per occurrence limit and a $5 million umbrella above it. A judgment comes in at $4 million. Your general liability pays its $2 million. The umbrella picks up the remaining $2 million. Without the umbrella, that $2 million gap is your problem. For businesses with significant assets, large contracts, or operations that create meaningful liability exposure, umbrella coverage is often the most cost-effective way to add substantial protection. The umbrella only works correctly if your underlying policies meet the minimum limits the umbrella requires. Most umbrellas specify a threshold. For example, your general liability must carry at least $1 million of coverage per occurrence for the umbrella to sit above it properly. If your underlying limits are below the umbrella's minimum threshold, there's a gap between where your primary coverage ends and where your umbrella begins. In that gap, you're self-insured. This is worth checking specifically, not assuming it's set up correctly just because both policies exist. Real quick, if you're finding this useful, subscribe to the channel. We put out new content every week on commercial insurance, risk management, real estate protection, and business liability, all in plain language. It's free and it'll save you from learning these lessons the hard way. This is the part that matters most for anyone who believes their umbrella protects them across the board. The umbrella follows your underlying policies. It only responds to losses your underlying policies also cover. If a type of claim is excluded from your general liability, your commercial auto, your employer liability, the umbrella doesn't step in anyway. Specifically, a standard commercial umbrella does not extend over professional liability. If you're sued for a professional mistake and your professional liability limit isn't enough, the umbrella doesn't fill that gap. Professional liability sits on its own coverage structure separately. Employment practices claims. The umbrella typically doesn't follow employment practices liability coverage. Cyber events. Umbrella policies generally don't extend over cyber liability. Workers' compensation, which is a completely separate program. Business owners who believe their umbrella protects them across all liability scenarios are often surprised to discover how much narrower the actual coverage is than they assumed. The right umbrella limit isn't a number you pick based on what seemed reasonable years ago. Some useful anchors. What are the largest contracts you signed, and what limits do they require of you? What's the total value of assets your business could be asked to satisfy a judgment from, including real estate? What's the realistic worst-case liability scenario for your specific operation? A contractor working on a large commercial projects, a property owner with multiple locations, a business with significant public exposure. Each one has a different answer. The right limit addresses the actual exposure. If this was helpful, share it with a business owner or investor who needs to hear it, and subscribe if you have not already. New content every week. If you want to look at your current umbrella structure and make sure the underlying policies, the umbrella limits, and the overall liability program are actually working together correctly, reach out to Integrity Insurance and Risk Management. The link is in the description. I'm Brian Woods with Integrity Insurance and Risk Management. We'll see you in the next one.